Hi everyone. So in this video, I just want to give out some love to the Rose family and to you, the one watching this video. And I wanted to give out a message that you are very important, okay? And I don't really like when people are mean to themselves or when they can't really value or appreciate themselves, even in moments where they feel low. So I don't really like it whenever we go through these tough moments and we begin to question our own greatness, because when we're at the top, we believe in ourselves. When we're at the top, when it comes to finances, when it comes to relationship, we truly believe in ourselves. But what about those moments where you're facing contradictions? What about those moments when you feel insecurity? Can you still talk to yourself with the same level of passion? Think of yourself like being in a relationship. Okay, so imagine if every single time things are going great, you feel like you're on top of the world, but the moment that there's different contradictions or disagreements, now all of a sudden you divorce yourself or you break up with yourself, or this was not even what I wanted in the first place. I don't even believe in myself anymore. It's just like, it's quite ridiculous. You have to carry yourself with the same level of compassion and unconditional love as you would to a child, okay? Because you are committed to you, regardless if you like that or not. You're committed to yourself, and you have to be committed to yourself, not just on times where you're doing good. And that's not to say that everything you do is right, but sometimes you have to learn to talk to yourself with love, with compassion, with thankfulness, with actually hearing yourself out in all parts of yourself, the negative parts of yourself. Most importantly, you have to learn to hear yourself out and still redirect yourself into a good course without being brutal, without punishing yourself, without speaking to yourself aggressively. This is just called, a lot of people will say that self-love is about looking in a mirror and patting on your makeup and looking at the jewelry that's on your hand, but really it's about looking at the jewelry that's within your soul, seeing that your soul is bright, seeing that your spirit is bright, and, looking at yourself with compassion and not aggression, being kind to yourself. Being kind to yourself is very important. Being kind to yourself is crucial, especially because the world is already tough. So be kind to yourself, be nice to yourself, and most importantly, redirect yourself in a way that's actually inspirational rather than degrading. Okay? Rose family, you are loved. And a lot of times in life, I know what it feels like to go through something that is completely traumatic and still having to talk to myself in love. Another thing I want to say is what people do to you that's something you should not take within your own character. Okay, if a person is being a certain type of way towards you, if a person's causing you trauma and they're doing these things, please don't interpret this or digest this. Okay, because you are powerful, you are strong, and you're beautiful. And imagine, because another person is causing you trauma, another person is attempting to ruin your perception of self or even bring you down. It's very important to just feel that difference between what another person believes about themselves and what you believe about yourself. And I have gone through this many times growing up, going through this, and I've had to consistently talk with myself and sit myself down and remember that I'm greatness. And how do you go through those moments of trauma? How do you go through those moments where you're feeling damn near being like you're feeling beat up? How do you still feel this level of confidence and assuredness within your soul that you are phenomenal? How do you still go through and still feel beautiful even whenever you're in an ugly situation? You have to have that strong relationship with yourself. So some of the most strongest people have gone through the most. Some of the most bravest people, the most brilliant people have gone through so much trauma that they were forced to transmute energy. So if you ever look at a person who's consistently alchemizing their life and no matter what predicament life puts them in, they still end up on top, it's because they're forced into creation. They're forced into growth. They're forced into evolution and transmuting that energy. I have been through it. I have been through those moments where I had to be optimistic to view such a crazy situation in order to keep moving. So sometimes you have to tell yourself a good story. Sometimes you have to tell yourself a different story than whatever story you're going through right now. So even if the realism of it is that this is what's happening, you're never going to make it. This is not going to be your reality. This is what you're currently going through. Sometimes you have to have that level of delusion. And I'm not even going to call it delusion, but optimism within yourself. Sometimes you have to have that level of creativity within yourself to view it as different. So what most artists do is, oh, I came from the bottom and now I'm thriving. Or they tell a story about how they started off in such an uncomfortable situation, but still created something out of it. And they make that story a part of them. They don't run away from it. They don't dodge it. They don't dodge it. It's like, this is a very tough spot. This is a very tough situation, but I am inspiring enough. I am creative enough. I have endured enough. If I can endure all of this, I can endure a little bit more until more comes into my life. So I just want to say, I want to speak for those creatives and those artists who are out there making things happening, and it feels like nothing's going anywhere. You're adding just a little bit to, whatever you want to do in life a day, and it's just feeling like there's so much weight on you. I really believe in you. And all creatives, all artists have to go through this. All entrepreneurs have to go through this before they break through. I just want to let you know that you're seen, that you're loved, and that though people in your life may not support you, you can never be that person who does not support you. You have to be the queen if you realize that the queen is always on her side no matter what. Okay, and that's how you build your empire. Because when you're on your side, no matter what, you can't help but yield people towards your side. People come and go in and out of your life. Some people are committed to you at first, but then sometimes life pushes them to be committed elsewhere. But you cannot be that flaky with yourself. You should never hold that level of flakiness within yourself. You have to be loyal to your soul and to your spirit to the day you die and reincarnate and then some. Because if you abandon you, that's the worst thing you could ever do. If you abandon yourself, that's the worst choice you could ever make. The moment you choose to wake up and you feel those negative emotions and you don't do anything about it, it's the worst choice you could ever make. Because at the end of the day, everything is dependent on your life force. You making things happen is dependent on your life force, on your strength, on your spirit. And imagine you didn't have that self-talk with yourself today. Imagine you didn't do those things you needed to do today. You allow that pessimism, that pessimistic talk to actually deter you away from your goals. Imagine you allow that to dampen your spirit. Imagine you allow another person whose spirit is down to make your spirit down. How are you going to get through with these things? How are you going to make these things happen? How are you going to challenge yourself? How are you going to overcome this obstacle? Because it's going to take a level of craziness, positivity, upbeat energy to overcome this obstacle. You can't do that with your mindset feeling like, if you feel like you are dying inside, how can you overcome this obstacle that's requiring of you life? It's requiring of you life. It's requiring of you potential. It's requiring of you creativity. How can you be in that mind state if you're putting yourself in a predicament where you are abandoning your spirit, abandoning your soul, abandoning who you are at the core of your being, and you cannot be anything but loyal to your soul. You have to have that level of loyalty towards your spirit. So I really want to give that speech out to I want to talk to people who are trying different things in life, unique pathways, or even if you try to take the normal route, but that normal route is not even wanting to be any remote. if that normal route is not even trying to be taken, and life is kind of forcing you in an uncomfortable predicament or pathway that you never expected, this goes out for you. I believe in you, and I know that it's difficult. I really do. I know that it's difficult, but you have to see your vision before anything else, anyone else. Because at the end of the day, could you live with yourself if you went to bed at night knowing that you could have lived a life, but you didn't? Could you go to bed at night at an older age knowing that you could have did this when you were at your prime, but you chose not to? You could have been living a different life at this time within 10 years if you would have persisted on your dreams, if you would have persisted on this goal, if you would have persisted in whatever area in life that you wanted to make it in. But you maybe have been crushed by temporary experiences, crushed by temporary no's, crushed by doors being locked, that you feel like, man, I ain't no point in even pursuing this. This must be for only a specific type of person. This must be for only for him or her. This can't be for me because look at how hard this is. But don't you realize that people who have the hardest obstacles, the hardest challenges end up being the greatest whenever they finally surpass that, whenever they finally overcome those obstacles? This is for you. Don't give up right now because within 20 to 10 years, you may regret not even doing what it is that you said you was going to do. Do it. And then at the end, I guarantee you, if you give it your whole heart, your whole soul, don't just give it don't just give it your everything. Make sure that you make it happen. Be in that predicament where I'm going to make it happen. I don't care. This is my reality. You make your mind up, you will find how life continues showing you different opportunities. You will see that even if you miss this opportunity, 1,000 more will come. To hell with whatever you lost. To hell with whatever you thought that you lost. To hell with whatever opportunity you feel like came your way, but you somehow, it slipped out of your fingertips. You got this. Keep following. Don't give up. Don't give up because you got this. Anyway, I love y'all, Rose family. Stay inspired. Stay motivated. Know that it's coming. And we don't want to talk about fairy tale land. Make it come. If they won't give it to you, create your own. If they won't hire you, become the boss. I don't know. Hell, you got to make it happen. And you can't make it happen with a negative mindset. You can't make it happen talking down on yourself. How can you talk down on yourself when the whole world is already doing that? How can you be a hater to yourself when the whole world is already doing that for you? You don't need that. You need more love in your life. You need more appreciation towards yourself. Thank yourself sometimes. Get yourself a rose, hell. Get yourself a rose. Make a rose if you do something for yourself. Hell, be nice to yourself. Be kind. Be kind. Be kind. Sometimes it's nothing wrong with saying, saying to yourself, thank you. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with saying, I love you to yourself. Nothing wrong. Anyways, Rose family, be kind to yourself. Be thankful towards all the different battles that you have overcome. Look back on your past and don't see a path to survival or fear, worry. See a path that you survived. See a path that took so much strength and endurance, but you made it through. Because if you can make it through that, why you can't make it through what you're going through? Like, you over here exaggerating, but you've been through way worse and still made it to the destination. You still surpassed the destination. Stop acting like you have not done this before. You've done it 1,000 times. You're just in another one of those situations where you feel like you don't know what you're going to do, but you'll figure it out. Just as you figured out 1,000 other times before. Anyways, Rose family, I love you so much. Keep being the greatest version of yourself and never ever quit on your dreams. You are you don't have no idea. You have no idea. Keep going and you'll find solutions. You'll find solutions to the problems that you have. People will come through in your life. Oh man, this is the problem that this is the solution I have for you. You have no idea. Anyways, Rose family, keep going, keep striving for the top. I love you. Peace.